How's everybody doing?
Good, Greg.
Good, good. Welcome back to part of you. Hi, I'm Greg Garatoz.
Shane Summers.
I think we've met
have.
before.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, at a couple of hospital meetings or something. And I know Denny was gonna show up.
Yeah, I thought he was, yeah.
I thought we might say speaking of him, but that doesn't look like Denny.
Not in this case. I was gonna make sure you guys got started okay. Camera's not on.
Oh.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, you are live. Pick your names you need to.
We did do that off camera.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
I told him that you were coming.
I'm here.
Hi, Shane.
Are you up and running?
All right, we are up.
Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I'm going to call the January 28th, 2026 meeting of the Hendricks County Redevelopment Commission to order. First order of business is determination of a quorum. I see that we have 4 of us present, so we do have a quorum. Being the first meeting of 2026, the first thing we have to do is reorganize. Elect president, vice president, and secretary. So saying that, I will accept nominations for the role of president.
Nominate Jed Wolf.
Have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Next position, we need to elect a vice president. I'll accept nominations for vice president.
And that has to be a commissioner's representative,
I
right?
think I was represented or nominated by the council, and so it has to be a commissioner's appointment.
And I don't know who is, I know Shane.
These two are council.
Shane's commissioner, Mike is commissioner, and Matt
Who's
is a
missing?
commissioner.
And
Matt.
is missing.
I'd say that 2 of you gentlemen can arm wrestle it.
I would like to nominate Mike Evans.
Shane, that's good on your part.
Do we have a second?
Since this is my first meeting, I feel like that's.
Second.
We have a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
At this time, we have to elect a secretary. I'll accept nominations for secretary.
Nominate Linda.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. So we have 3 new officers for 2026. Next order of business, we have to approve the minutes of November 12th, 25. You've all received a copy. Hopefully had a chance to review those minutes for accuracy.
I move they be approved.
We have a motion for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Under new business, we have to take into consideration service agreements from Financial Services Group on 5 of our redevelopment districts. Mr. Garatoz, do you want to go through each one of these individually?
No need, they're not materially changed from last year.
Okay. Basically, it's, we have a proposal for each of the redevelopment districts. It talks about the work that FSGs would be doing in each of the districts, and also a dollar amount not to exceed for their services.
Correct. It's very reasonable. So,
That's a matter of perspective.
Yes.
yes, but I'm respecting, it's really, or suspecting, it is very reasonable.
This page right here,
I think there's multiple
These-
ones. Yeah, there's multiple.
Yeah, there's 5 of them. 5 of them, oh. those
It's
are all of
the
them.
West
Okay, I
Point,
see.
the Ronald Reagan North, 70 West, the 70 West expansion in 2021, and then 7039 Commerce Park.
And then Linda, for the best part, they get charged back to the district if we can. So,
If what, Greg?
if there's revenue, they get charged back to the district, so it doesn't come out of the general fund of the county.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
That's why there's one for each.
These are all similar to prior years,
Same as before.
same as before.
I move that we approve them.
I have a motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-0. Discuss possible future expansion of certain TIF districts.
So, thank you, and I'll kind of take that, and I know Denny and I chatted about it, and we brought it up in December. So and what we have to do is find a leader of the cause almost, because I'm not trying to be the leader of the cause. But what we've got is hopefully the hospital, building a area up in, on 40 and 39, close to there.
Liberty Township.
Liberty Township. And the hope is that we will also be building a new fire station at that corner and things like that. So the thought is that we, in order to assist maybe any type of infrastructure and the fire station itself, we need to get some TIF there. Well, our economic development allocation area, let alone our TIF areas, are way down at I-70 and 39, okay?
Where is this again? 40 and,
40 and 39. I'm going
Oh,
to say
39,
that's the
okay.
closest intersecting roads, but
West side of Belleville, basically.
west side of Belleville. So we discussed in December or November in our last meeting here about having, or the acceptability of basically expanding our economic development area. We would need Adam Steerwald to kind of help on that, and extend it from our current economic development area up State Road 39, which would be all tax exempt property, and then go up to 40, and then expand it as anyone saw fit, okay? The theory was then, is that with our county TIF district, remember the county has 2 buildings already down there, and it's the county's TIF district, okay? So the county could then use it for any road improvements and/or if they chose to do it for also the fire station and any other infrastructure in that area. The other thought is it's an unincorporated area. There's blight. There's no doubt there's blight. I mean, look at the side of the building that's missing on 39.
Right.
Or it looks like a car went through it.
Right in that area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, there might be some ways to do some economic development or redevelopment grants, I should say. So that's the thought, the concept, and keep in mind that, we collect 10% on the DLZ building or a DHL building, which is really Johnson & Johnson, and we collect some of ours on the Sunbeam area and things like that. So if we kind of include all of that area, we may be able to gain some horsepower, get it up there in an area and make it happen. It won't necessarily happen overnight, but it could happen if the county redevelopment commissioner, the county decided to do a redevelopment bond. We could also make it happen. And there's been some talk about the county redevelopment bond on the township doing a bond issue and going in together on the fire department. Okay, so this, we're trying to, we're the independent financial advisor to the county. We're also the independent financial advisor to Liberty Township, okay? So we do have a dog in this fight, only from the standpoint that, and quite frankly, I live in the area. So it would help, to get that to happen. So I don't want anybody to think I'm trying to drive it. We're gonna ultimately need a elected official to drive it or someone, because we don't have a developer. Normally you have a developer, right? Or the hospital or somebody. We need an ownership attitude on this, because we don't have a developer coming in and saying, hey, we want TIF up here. Now, Jenny and I talked, it is my understanding through Liberty Township that Plainfield has annexed that area. We're not talking about taking anything they've currently got under annexation, but they were not able to annex the road, I'm told, because it's a tax exempt road and that was not included in it. And so, to me, it just makes sense. But again, we need someone to kind of say, wow, maybe start asking the Redevelopment Commission to make this happen or something.
Right.
So, that's basically it.
Yeah. And as you know, I think certainly Mike does, but I think all of you know, the Hinkie development that's gonna go in down there, they bought the Deer Creek Golf Course and acquired other acres of land to the tune of 1,200 acres, I think, total. That's all gonna be Plainfield. Plainfield's either annexed that or will be. I don't know if that's done yet or not, but anyway, that's gonna happen. So what we're talking about would be outside of that, but certainly 39 going through there, along there, and then up at 40 and that area up there. The hospital has purchased, I believe, 15 acres, is it, Shane?
Roughly.
Okay.
Yeah, a little less than that.
And so that could be, and of course, that's nonprofit. They are an exempt area. It's a little more complicated than that, but for the most part,
Right.
it's exempt. But that could certainly be a driver, and yeah.
And Shane, sometimes in those type of houses, we work up in LaPorte, we work in Crown Point, many hospitals across the state of Indiana and TIF district. And sometimes part of it does become taxable if it becomes a private entity and things like that. And we didn't even, again, it's a concept really I've kind of put together with Denny and with the Liberty Township and myself and said, wow, maybe this makes sense, because we can't really, the statute says in or serving, you could probably still make the argument that down here serves up here, but it's easier if we just expand the economic development area and then have it. And then in the event someone issues bonds, even if it wouldn't prohibit anybody from annexing it, because it's just, if they annex it, they would only get their tax rate. They wouldn't get all, they wouldn't be able to create another TIF, just like we've done up in Brownsburg with our Ronald Reagan TIF. So, we got to have a champion of the cause or something. And I know the Liberty Township trustee,
Yes.
and I believe his board,
Yes.
are heavily behind it, because I think we saw the estimates last year on the fire station
As of
was
November.
7 million or something. There's no way they can afford to do a bond issue for that.
Yeah.
So this is going to have to be a creative partnership of some sort.
So are you suggesting that the RDC, I may not be saying this correctly, approve or move and say we want to establish a TIF in this.
I think that, or even, you know, start with baby step number one, which is get Adam to, you know, we'd get Adam to look at expanding the economic development area and what that would take. We can set out a timeline for, you know, what it would take to get there. Remember, anything we do now would have a base date of 1/1/26. And so really, you know, all the area up there in Belleville, you know, it's probably the best time to have a base date because nothing's happened on your land or anything else, or the hospital, not your land, but the hospital's land.
Yeah.
And so, but if we wait too long, it does, you know, it is going to take a process. And again, we're not trying to impede anyone from annexing any further, but we're just trying to, you know, help. And I think again, if we had some redevelopment grants, maybe something would happen in that neighborhood, so to speak. So we're looking for a positive direction forward, obviously to bring more information to you.
Yeah.
And I guess ultimately gonna want something from the commissioners, and maybe Adam can put, you know, something together that says, yes, you know, we think this is a good idea, let's move forward.
We think it is, but we need we meaning Brad Wicker, Bob Gentry, myself, as commissioners, think it's a good idea. But
And it's actually Bob's area, right?
It's Bob Gentry's
Yeah.
district is Liberty Township. But three of us work together, so.
And Shane, I don't know, I mean, obviously you've got a dog in the fight, but, you know, what do you think?
A couple things. One, yes, I think that area will need some infrastructure that somebody's going to have to fund, and that is definitely a concern. I also can kind of look at it from the Liberty Township Fire Department standpoint, because in another role I serve, we just built a fire department, and you might be able to get something for $6 million, but that's gonna be low end of what needs to be built. So there's gonna need to be funds for that to be there. The land is, we've already kind of have a very loose kind of, that's not a problem, but we need to figure out what that looks like. But for more things to develop in that area, I think there's gonna have to be some persuasion or something to kind of grease those wheels, for lack of a better way of saying it. So,
Who would disagree?
I think that's where it would be good for Adam to kind of weigh into, because I would need to
Well,
understand.
we'll have to have public hearings.
Yeah, but what would be an unintended consequence of a TIF? I don't know that there would be, but I don't know. I'm not an expert in TIF. I know he sent me a document of 178 pages on TIF districts. I haven't fully digested it yet.
Have you opened it?
I have opened it and I said, oh, that's 178 pages. So I haven't dove into it. I know a little bit from the one that we had in another area as a hospital and some other TIF, but I think we need to understand that too, because not everybody loves TIFs, but we need to understand that. But it makes sense.
I mean, to answer your question, it could be like other governmental entities who might think they could be losing assessed valuation.
Okay.
If current property would become TIF, but the way we've managed all of our TIF districts, we've always tried to share the assessed valuation as we're able to.
Yeah, in fact, to the tune of almost 30 million out of the GDI facility in that. So there's substantial TIF that has gone on to the tax rolls.
So is this conversation another update for us, and stay tuned for a future episode?
Yeah, and I guess a positive, you know, a thumbs up, a positive response from the Redevelopment Commission before anybody goes too far. Yeah, so.
It sounds like if you guys give consensus, then maybe we could talk to Adam and just have him start putting something together.
Getting a resolution and something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be best.
Well, and I'll speak as a Liberty Township president. Obviously, we've got to get better facilities, fire and EMS facilities. With the Hinkie development, obviously that's not gonna happen tomorrow, but that's just gonna be another mover in that whole area. And, you know, the first thought was that Plainfield would be building a fire department in that area. We're pretty well told now that's not gonna happen. And so Liberty Township has to have something, and the best place to have it is at Belleville, when you study the run times and all that stuff. Brad went through all that with us. So I certainly think if there's a way that this body or the county through, you know, through a TIF could help that process, it needs to happen.
And I think it goes back to this goes back to the original discussions when we were putting together all 5 of these TIF districts. Remember, or 4 of them, remember, are down there. Ronald Reagan's up north, but, you know, the overall intent was to help fire EMS. And in fact, that's how we bought some of the ambulance and things like that, and also give back to the taxpayer. So we've given back to the taxpayers. We haven't moved too much on the fire and EMS, other than the grants that were specific from developers. And so it's a good, I think, way to keep moving a win-win forward.
Are there any members present today that would be, I mean, we're not obligating ourselves to anything, but we're just merely giving a thumbs up, as you say, to maybe authorizing future conversations with the commissioners, the council,
And I would say-
bond attorney Adam Stirwall to come back to us at a future date and talk about, you know, a future expansion of the TIF districts up to the 3940 area.
Yeah, I'd like Adam to come and get an okay to get together a timeline, and he and I can work on it, and then that'll show the steps and the timeline.
Right.
And the public input that has to be taken along the way. So,
And just FYI, so you're aware of it, but one of the TIFs, obviously, but we expanded that north when the Ronald Reagan, we expanded it up north, up in the Brown Township area, north of Brownsburg, and that will continue on. And so all of that's been TIF'd up there, and you've seen that through Greg's reports, and so on. And even though it hasn't exploded, I'll say it will. And quite frankly, it's been a positive thing to look at what could happen up there, and it'll be helpful, so.
and Shane, to bring you up to date, we have issued those bonds
Right.
through the Redevelopment Commission and Authority. And those bonds are done. We did them last year. Thank God we did, because the interest rates have been, and the bids were fabulous. And so we've got all the money in place
Yes.
to go to county line, right?
Right. Yep.
And so that's happening
Yeah, I think they saw that, is that where it came
from the minutes.
for the minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big number to say.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I thought
Is
maybe,
all that work under contract by this point?
Yes.
Okay, so I knew the bids are back in November, so I
Yeah,
assume by
it's-
now.
It's quote done, yeah.
John couldn't wait to sign those.
Anything else?
No, sir, not at this time.
Okay. One other item I wanted to bring up on behalf of Matt Isbell, was wondering if we could maybe just set some dates for future meetings. I know 4 or 5 years ago, we set like, I don't know, the third Wednesday or the last Wednesday of the month, just to hold it on our calendar. And then I think usually a week or two ahead of time, I don't know if my predecessor reached out to Ann or just to determine whether or not we would need to have a meeting. If not, we would just cancel that date. But Matt was asking if we could just put a placeholder, then he could at least put that on his calendar.
For each month, is that what you're thinking?
I know we did that 4, 5, 6 years ago, and it seemed to
Sure.
work out pretty well.
Yep, yep.
So I don't,
I like having it on my calendar, I'll tell you, yeah.
Yeah, that would help. That would help me a great deal.
Third Wednesdays like we
that's
had.
what we did.
And what about 3 o'clock, Shane? Third Wednesdays, 3 o'clock seems to work fabulous. It works great for me usually because it doesn't become a self-destructing date.
Everybody in agreement, we'll just hold the third Wednesday at 3 o'clock for a meeting, and if we don't need to have it, then I'll reach out to everybody and let you know that you have an extra period of time on your calendar, and that would help Matt with his planning also.
And would you go ahead, I mean, sometimes people go ahead and post it in one posting, all 11 dates, and then you just have to give notice to cancel.
I think that's a good idea.
Is that what you would prefer to do? That seems to work for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to do a notice a month, you just notice them all the way through. Now, and if you put together, I would suggest you put together the tentative third Tuesday or Wednesday of every month, because you could run into maybe a Thanksgiving or a Christmas, and sometimes we have to rearrange it. So you might want to get that.
I know, I just know when we did that, it worked. We always had a placeholder.
Yeah.
And we didn't meet every month. It maybe was every 2 or 3 months, but it worked for everybody.
I think I have the third, based on somebody gave me that time frame. The third Wednesday, and if I have a conflict, I'll just let you know and I'll let you guys know.
Okay. Is there any other business that we need to discuss for today? If not, I'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody. Stay warm.
And I believe we did get a positive from everyone.
Yes, oh, yes.
Thank you. I'll let Adam know.
Thank you all, sorry that it's a very short meeting, you had to come out and come here and do this, and then whatever, but it's,
Well, the streets are pretty good.
And
It was
the
as good
bigger-
yesterday, so it worked out fine.
Hendricks, our highway crew has done a pretty good job.
very well.
Further west, the blowing has created issues, but they've been working hard at it, and pretty much around the clock, as you might imagine, so they kind of divided up the crews so that some could go home and sleep and the others come in.
They did a great job. I drove to Zionsville High School. My wife, she ran the back way last night, and she was not happy with me. But there was a definitive difference when you crossed into Marion County, and then when you crossed into Boone County. Hendricks County was by far the best of.
You ought to go into Morgan County.
Well, I'm sure
Well,
it's.
Putnam County's not good either.
Putnam County's not great either.
Morgan, god awful.
Yeah, yeah.